So, what better way to proclaim St. George's Day than to celebrate a statement of freedom? Now, it may not necessarily be a statement of freedom from somebody you approve of or you like what he says, but it is freedom nevertheless. Today is the birthday of Prince Louis, it's the feast of St. George, and it's the release, the liberation of Tommy Robinson. And he talked today when he was found to be not guilty, and also that the charges against him were pointless. He talks about heavy-handed policemen. He refers to the 26th of November, where he was captured in a cafe, where he says he was acting as a journalist, and he was filmed. I remember watching the film. And he says the CPS, which should be an independent body that assesses potential crimes, they connived with the police, it seems, in a form of harassment and aggressive restrainment. He was pepper sprayed at point blank range. The police who filmed him with their body cams lied and lied again, explaining that the footage had been lost, had been recorded over, that they were using somebody else's body cam and so on. So there was no evidence. He says this is liars. Liars indeed, and scoundrels. And he talked about a police state, about the fact that we do not have freedom, that it's his 8th time in court at a cost of £60,000, that the police are being used presumably by the government, to control opposition. It causes stress. It has an emotional toll. It's extremely expensive. The whole process of going to court is expensive, and it seems that under the present government, both the court and the police have been weaponized, or if they're not doing what the government wants them to do, they're simply abused and sidelined or condemned. This isn't the way it should be. It doesn't matter whether you agree with somebody or you disagree with somebody. There should be an assumption of freedom. I think it's the same issue whether it's Tommy Robinson or whether it's Gideon Falter. I think it's the same issue. And I don't agree with Tommy Robinson. I don't really agree with Gideon Falter. But I do agree with their right to freedom. And to threaten somebody with arrest simply because they are going in a place which isn't expected is not freedom. Freedom, and to say that this is that this threatened arrest is called protective custody, that again is an absurdity. This is using language to mean something other than what it means. Arrest is arrest. Arrest is a punishment and a suspicion that you've done something wrong. Protective custody is a different matter entirely. You can say, as a policeman, yes, I wish to take you into protective custody. It's for your own good, sir. Come with me. That's not arrest. That's protective custody. Threatening somebody with arrest is threatening somebody with arrest, threatening somebody for doing something wrong. And both Tommy Robinson and Gideon Falter, I think, have exposed something that is deeply wrong with our policing, and I think whistleblowers are exposing something that is deeply wrong with our law. And what unites these two issues is the concept of control. And our state is using the machinery of the police and the courts to try to control people, rather than using the courts and the police to deal with those people who fall foul of the right path, who stray from the right path. Challenging authority is not straying from the right path. That is holding authority to account. That is holding the people in power to account. And that should be done. That can be done by anybody. You don't have to agree with people to support their freedom. And there are people on in the comment section saying that I'm now agreeing. I'm now on Suella Braverman's side. Of course I'm not. But it doesn't mean that Suella Braverman can't occasionally say the right thing. She can. She can. I'm not judging somebody's motives here. And similarly, Gideon Falter may well be an agent provocateur. But he has a right to wander freely. And indeed, he has every right to challenge that statement. Because, again, it's made, again, by the head of the police, Sir Mark Rowley, today, who repeats, that Jews have the freedom of the City of London. They can move about where they want. That's not true. That's not true in practice. And when the police identify you as openly Jewish and tell you that you are threatened with arrest if you don't leave the area and get escorted out of the area, that is not freedom of movement. It's not. And as for Tommy Robinson, he did his time. He did his time for the crime. And he shouldn't continue to be punished for the same thing. And the treatment of Tommy Robinson is reprehensible. This isn't about crime, this is about control. And that's not the stuff of a civilized society, that's the stuff of Putin's Russia. Or the Ayatollah's Iran. Or North Korea. That's not the stuff of a civilized society that is part of, or not part of, Europe. Is part of the continent of Europe. But no man is an island after all.